Today I'm going to be putting together a couple of my cell activators. Cell activators are what, as the name applies, what create the cells. And I'm going to stick with my two main cell activators, which is titanium white and lamp black. I use both of them are Amsterdam products, and I'm going to put down 1 part black. So just a little droplet, little glob. And the whole point of my Amsterdam products are that the pigmentation of these paints are high enough that they hold up very well, and I think they're heavy enough that they actually create the cells by dropping through the paint. I'm going to start out with the black. I'm going to do the same thing with the white. And again, this is titanium white by Amsterdam. I use so much white that I have a huge container of it, and so it's not going to be on screen here. I'm going to take a good daub of it and put it into my cup. It'll be about the same amount. Now, I will tell you that not all paints, not all pigments of the same brand are going to be the same weight. So, in the sense of weight, how well they mix up. In the case of the black and the titanium white actually remains thicker for longer. So my ratios vary. And this is the whole point of the cell activators, is to get the consistency correct. So I'm going to use my cell activator with this is the Australian Floetrol, and the Australian Floetrol has different properties. They're made by the same company, the Flood company, but no matter, and they tell you the ingredients are the same, but there's a difference. I have a recipe that I use with the American Floetrol that works, but when using it, it takes longer for the cells to pop open, but it works. The difference is it's more work to put together because you have to put more binders into it in the sense of glue, and a little bit of pre-wood stain conditioner, and just a few drops. And between the two, it gets the same consistency, but you have to work with it. So this right out of the bottle works beautifully. Okay, always shake this stuff up because the parts of it always sink. You want to incorporate it before you pour, otherwise you're going to have too much of the light fluid with it. Okay, that should be enough. Let's see. Now, usually what I do with this is I have a small dropper which I keep around for when I feel like my consistencies are off. So this is the same as this. That's where it came from. So, and let me start by adding I'm eyeballing this. It's about 3 to 1. And with titanium white, it's closer to 4 to 1 when I'm finally finished. But I start out, see, I got a little bit more in there. Might have to play with that a little bit more. But it's not you're going for consistency. And that's what I'm going to try to show you today. Is the consistency is the most important part of this process. Let's start with the titanium white. Because that's the one that's probably going to have to add more paint. So that's the good thing about this is if you somehow do what I just did, where I added too much of the Floetrol, this is not going to be the right consistency. It's going to be too thin. So it's the paint to Floetrol consistency should be about, it should be the same across all of your cell activators. Now the white takes more time to mix in. You got to kind of take your time with it. Once the consistency it breaks down and the consistency gets right, I'll come back. I'm going to speed this part up just a little bit for the titanium white. Okay, this took quite a bit of stirring. I've introduced quite a bit of air to it, so it's going to have to sit for a while. I'm going to cut out much of what I've already done. But as you can see, it's a little bit on the thin side. Not a little bit, but a whole lot on the thin side. So a little dab will do it. A little dab will do it. Get it just a little dab to go into the cup. So as you can see, this is not necessarily a formula. It's really knowing how your paints react, knowing how the thickness is going to feel. Not even necessarily as much as how it looks, it's how it feels. This still feels really thin. I got to incorporate the rest of this white in there. Feels a little closer now. I guess it's a good thing that this is not working as smoothly as I would like it to, because it's in so many ways it's an art form to do in itself, just to mix the components. It's the reason why I encourage people to go to the source. The source of this style is Shelee Carruthers, who is Sheleeartstyle. You hear all the time. She is the pioneer in this, who created, or at least developed, the method of painting. And it's so a lot of times it's good to see how people do this, but when you want to get down to the method of doing it, it's important to go to the source. So this is getting close to what we're doing. Still seems a little thin, but I'm gonna see how it works. Do a test piece in here in just a second. I'm gonna do the same thing with the black. Now you're gonna notice the black will mix much faster, and the consistency be easier to see. Well, number one, it's because of the color, and number two, the paint seems to be, same brand, seems to be much easier to blend, much easier to put the to break down the pigment into the Floetrol. You see, I'm going to have cut out quite a bit of the white because it took way long. And I think it's because of the amount I did. But the black, you're going to see that the black is about the right consistency. Let's see if I can do that for you. You see the consistency on that. And the fact that you can see that it goes directly down, but it actually leaves a little bit of a trace as it goes across. And this is about the right consistency. Now compare that to the white, how it runs off the spoon, and look at how the difference, how it leaves. It's just a little thin still. I'm gonna probably go back afterwards and add a little bit more paint. But that is how I mix my cell activators. And I'm going to explain more when I pull up a tile here, and we'll do a real quick swipe and show you how they work. Okay, I'm back. I put down 2 tiles. I'm going to do one at a time. First the white and then the black to show you how the reaction happens. My intuition tells me the white is going to be too thin. It's going to probably run a little bit. We'll see how that works, and we'll show you how I fix that again. And then the other one will be the black. And let me take one of these tiles off. Be centered here again. Put a little bit of my pillow paint down. My pillow paint is a low sheen house paint. In this case, it's a PPG Multi-Pro. It's become my go-to. And don't need much. This is not going to be high art. It's for demonstration purposes only. And I'm going to put down a color that I think will shine on both white and black. This is Maraschino by TLP. It actually has a little bit of a undertone. It's a pigment that is with some mica powder in it, and it's a beautiful paint. See if you can see that. You see that it's fairly thick, thicker than the cell activators, but thinner than the house paint. So it's kind of how you want to stack it. Thickest is the house paint. That's just for your colors to sit on and float across. Then your next thickest is your pigment or your color. And I'm just going to put just a little bit down. The idea here is not to do anything more than create the cells. Okay, so I think to make my point clear, I think I'll do a swipe on this, because swipes show the cells much faster than blooms do. And although blooms are wonderful for cells, the swipes are easier to see. So let's start out with the titanium white. And for this purpose, I'm going to just put it on the back of the swiping tool. It's a nice liberal layer. You don't want it too thick either, because it will cause you problems that way. Okay, now I'm already seeing, if you can see that, it's pulling away. So that's telling me it is too thin. So I'm gonna add a little extra paint to this. Just a little dab. Just wanted to thicken it up a little bit. And the funny thing about this is after you get the first little bit taken care of and you get it incorporated, it will be much quicker to add to paint to it. So let's see how we do. Generally speaking, once you have put your pillow down and your color layer down, you want to get to the, you don't have to run, it's not an urgent matter, but you really want to get to the swipe as quickly as you can, so that the pillow paint doesn't start to skin over and create a outline of where it was. And that happens. Okay. See how that is. Okay. And if you look at that now, you can see it is leaving a little bit more of a trace. And all I added was a little bit better than a pea size dab of paint. Okay, let's try this again. You can see same amount. Excuse my sloppiness. And it's holding its shape. So that's good. I think we're good to go there. Now let's see how it develops the cells. Flip it. And just do the swipe. You can see it pretty much immediately started developing the cells. I have some air in my paint. Usually like to let my cell activator and once I've mixed it, sit overnight at least, and so that the air bubbles have a chance to work their way up. But you can see that I have one big air bubble here. What happens with those air bubbles, depending where they're coming from, the color layer or in this case the cell activator, it'll create little dots of paint. If it comes from the pillow paint, it'll be white. Maybe a look you like, maybe a look you're looking for, but generally speaking, it's not desirable. So I move this around just a little bit, get a better idea. Okay, let's see what we can do here. The pillow paint is down. Color layer, same thing I did with the last one. Just basically trying to get enough color layer down here that you'll be able to see. About the same amount. Now pick up my swiping tool. Black cell activator. Do the same thing as I did with the white. Just put it on the back. And this is quite a bit thicker, so my cell is going to be different. Now I'm going to tell you, honestly, my experience is the different, whatever cell activator you use, color cell activator you use, is going to act differently. So move that off of there. Okay, flip it over. and the cells happen almost immediately. You can see that the cells are more uniform than they were with the white. I'll show them side by side here in just a moment. Let's stretch it just a little bit so we do the same thing across the two tiles. And put that down. Put the white down. Now you can see them side by side. The white has very small cells that got wonky when I moved them. So that tells me I still need to work a little bit with my titanium white. That's not exactly what I was looking for. But the black has nice formation of cells, and they're pretty interesting. So if you have any comments or questions that you'd like me to answer, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I will tell you that this is not something you're going to figure out overnight. It's something that takes time and practice, and a lot of practice at that. But it is achievable. Once you have the basics down, to know how to make the cells happen, then at that point you can get very creative and find ways to use it in your artwork. I hope you found this video today useful. I'd invite you to leave me a like, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and ring the bell for notifications of future videos. It's my goal to put out at least 2 per week, and I'm hoping you're finding them useful. Thanks for being here today, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye now.